Ultimate despair. Group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. Most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity. So it's a group of people? Not just one?
Our enemy has finally been revealed.
Right now.
Anyway.
We have to get out of this horrible place.
Agreed.
Figuring out the rest of the story can come later.
Yeah, you're right.
But aren't we technically supposed to be dead? What are we gonna
Technically,
do about
we're supposed to be dead.
Monokuma?
Well, I mean, how'd Coco end up down here? And did anyone notice her come down here?
Is there a trash chute that we don't know about? Like, was there always one that we just didn't investigate?
I have no clue. Do you still have that one thing? Oh yeah, she has the key. It opens every door.
The Monokuma's secret tool that he got from the headmaster room.
Indeed.
Of course I do. Absolute vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it.
It can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
That's right.
Then we should be able to use it on that door, right? Up we go. We use that Kirigiri to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out.
Slid it into the keyhole, and then it worked.
And we're out of here. And now we can get out of here. Let's go.
Sounds good. Open the door, made our escape from the guard. Unless this is over in the second dorm. Second floor dorms. Has just a normal trash chute instead.
Right. Finally. We were finally free. It wasn't even time to take a breath of relief. Because the real fight had just begun.
Are we gonna
6.
instantly run into everyone?
Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Deadly life.
Yay. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. Climbed into the darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. No idea we were so far down.
Hey.
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Also, if we fell so far down, how did we not, like, break our legs or something?
I think we landed on, like, an unreasonably sized pile of trash, is the thing. Like, you saw how big those piles were. Of course, in the pile of trash, there was, like, rockets and stuff, but...
Yeah.
I think the idea is that we landed in the trash.
I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off of it. So, Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said that you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. I came from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood.
Yet, her father was headmaster at Hope's Peak.
Well, you know, skips a couple generations. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way.
Then, is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us.
But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So...
Right.
Because we take pride in it.
Pride?
The
Indeed.
detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that we have to stand separately from the rest of society. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence.
A conscious effort.
It's true.
Kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational. But it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride.
Pride. So that explains... Before I came here, when we looked up info about the school, I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of that pride.
Hmm?
In order to enter Hope's Peak Academy, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do.
The reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, is because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father.
Huh? You'd be reunited after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However,
There's something I want to say to him, though.
What?
No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face.
What is it?
so...
I want to sever all ties with him.
Oh, I see. Sever?
The last time I saw him, I was still very young. I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented and he had a promising future.
However,
But he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument. As young as I was, he left me behind.
Sure, there's a reason for that. Sure, your dad wanted to take you with him.
right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective.
I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. She looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional.
I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However,
There is one thing. One thing that I can never forgive.
Really?
so...
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
However,
But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life, and I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow.
Correct.
So I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago.
But your family, to just cut him out like that?
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey,
Is blood really enough to call someone family?
Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. So shocked to hear her say something like that, I don't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. Just climbing the ladder in complete silence. After I don't know how long, we finally reached the top.
It was a long ladder.
Looks like this is it.
indeed.
Hope's Peak is waiting for us.
We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground next to the trash room? Fairly certain that's where we'll come out.
Okay. I locked it earlier, so it should be open without much trouble.
Well, thank God she unlocked it earlier, or else we'd be stuck on this ladder.
If she did, in fact, assume that this was the right hatch. Yep, we're here.
What if Monokuma locked it behind her?
Looks like we're back.
I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted.
Can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back at Hope's Peak Academy. Also, if Monokuma sees us, I'm supposed to be dead.
He knows you're not dead. He thought you were withering away in a trash room, so if he sees you, he'll know exactly what happened.
Yeah, but if I'm withering away in a trash room, right? But I'm not, and I'm here, he could just redo the punishment.
Right. Now that the virus is gone.
Thank you, I've never gotten out of there without you.
No thanks necessary, I was just returning the favor.
But that also leads to the fact, camera, hello.
Let's ignore it for now.
Now what do we do? Glad I didn't die, of course, but if the Mastermind finds out, and I'm worried about you too, you helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried?
Yeah, of course.
So then,
Let's just get a concrete answer.
Huh?
in other words,
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping.
Wait, that's...
If
however,
we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we found out, and it's not like we can run away.
She said that she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying, rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now. Don't worry, what you think is going to happen isn't.
Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared.
Mastermind is ensnared. Said something like that before, what does it mean?
So...
The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Makuro's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down.
There was?
Right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it.
It'd be better for us if we go to it directly before he tracks us down. Should help with our negotiations. Still a little super uneasy about this. We don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going.
Alright, to the gym then. We're gonna run into people in the hallway like, what? Makoto?
Yeah, let's actually see if there's anybody in the hallway to run into. Unless the reason she thinks Monokuma's in the gym is because he called a meeting or something. A motive, maybe. Continuing on with the killing game without you.
Oh yeah, I definitely can't go anywhere else but the first floor. Okay.
To the gym!
No one's out.
Who would have been hilarious if they were, though.
Right?
She's like, hi guys!
I'm alive.
Whoa, a ghost! For real this time! Is what Hiro would have said.
Probably. We could have just
Oh,
gone
man.
straight to his office.
It's been a while since we've been in the store, should we?
It has been a while since we've been in the store, but I don't get the feeling we have free time right now.
It's nighttime.
Exactly.
Of all things. How long have we been in there?
A day or so.
Well now.
Kyoko, I don't mind so much.
But Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here?
That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay?
You were supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do?
Shing!
If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule.
So now I gotta punish you again. And this time I won't leave anything to chance.
Kyoko.
Right.
Do whatever you feel you have to.
What?
However...
But before you do, let me just say one thing.
No.
If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right?
Huh? I lose?
Hey, you explain yourself. What do you mean by that?
Because...
Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
In other words...
I was supposed to be chosen as the Blackened and then executed, right?
Hey, what are you talking about?
However...
But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. So the result of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
Right.
And in response to that unexpected development,
Indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation? No, more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However...
And then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a winch, so to speak, in your previous execution machinery.
Alter ego.
Precious, sorry, not previous. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you killed them.
Am I wrong?
Now here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Makuro, you did.
Listen to me.
So executing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the Blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us.
Right.
And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the Blackened is me and not Makoto? And you can prove this, right?
Well...
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that.
What is this? A comedy routine? To make such a bold claims without a shred of evidence?
That doesn't
I
matter.
don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only ever one absolute truth.
And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type.
Because...
If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire.
However...
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope and it hurts.
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
Indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased.
Huh?
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey,
Of course, you could say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. You have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. You want to earn our despair fair and square,
that's what
then
we
I
have to
suggest
do.
you take my advice.
He is pissed. So what is this advice of yours?
It's
To
true.
do Makuro's trial over again. Only this time, you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. Hey,
That would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say?
Fair trial, one last showdown, in other words. This would be our chance to expose the true identity of Makuro's killer of the mastermind themselves. For what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Very interesting indeed.
Barry.
I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So time for bear jokes.
Again. Now, what you suggest might be possible, it would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
in
Does
other
that mean you
words,
accept?
If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause your unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory? Let's have one final grisly showdown. He agreed? We still have a shot at this. This is a
Long-awaited
long-
climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end.
You have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries?
Every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that, then that'll be enough to qualify as a victory for you.
it's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well good. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Makuro's death and solve the mystery of the school, then you win. But if you can't do all that, we'll all face execution. I can barely tame my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are,
I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we have uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair?
I also can't believe how this has all turned out.
Hey,
But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that for sure. So what?
hey,
I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement?
You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations. And having a trial for Makuro is no exception to that. Makuro's trial is no exception, but it's part of the regulations? Which would have to mean that whoever killed Makuro is a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. Sure, I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students.
listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why'd you go quiet all of a sudden?
I've got nothing left to say to you.
So get lost, would ya? Why so mad?
Emotionally unstable.
Leave me alone! Get out of here! Okay, I'm going. You really gonna let me go? I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. You need to start getting it ready. A super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair.
Hey,
Come on, Makoto, let's go. Okay. Well, I guess we don't really have to worry about him doing anything now.
We're
Unstable
all gonna
actors.
die later anyways.
Yeah, he's just like that way we're let out of the gym. Well, let's go meet up with everyone, I suppose. Hard to believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. Still had my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you.
However,
Don't think me just yet, the real battle is still ahead of us.
Now we have to prove every mystery of the school.
Yep. That's how you win.
Still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. Honestly, why would the Mastermind agree to that? I mean, they didn't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
We had no choice but to accept.
Hmm?
It's all because of that one moment that the Mastermind let down their guard, like I said.
So when was it the Mastermind let their guard down?
So,
I wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the Mastermind said? He said they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life to the outside world, right?
Yeah, they definitely said that.
Listen,
What did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right?
Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
You don't
indeed.
exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
However,
And yet somehow the Mastermind was able to do it.
in other
But
words,
think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult.
A reason?
so
They had to show the world something, no matter the cost. Us killing each other.
They wanted to show the world?
it would seem
The Mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all our rules and regulations were designed to encourage that.
Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody.
in other words,
So the Mastermind's ultimate goal is to make us kill each other and show that off to the world.
But why?
correct.
To prove a point, most likely.
Prove a point?
Hey,
The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Academy, right? A certain concept?
Ultimate. Or hope, right?
that's right.
For those of us who represent hope, to kill each other and seek into despair. The Mastermind wants the world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal, is the ultimate despair.
What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? That's ridiculous.
It's true.
You're right, it is ridiculous, completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise.
That group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. But is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto,
I know how angry it must make you, and yet, that same motivation is what led to the Mastermind revealing their weakness.
in other words,
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world, the Mastermind has had to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the Mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very least,
At least that's how those who were watching this would have seen it.
And that's why the Mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves.
indeed.
This is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished. But in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
Right.
So instead, they tried to use the class trial following all their proper rules to get me killed.
They began a trial, they didn't have a right answer. Then made me out to be the killer.
But even that didn't work because it
It's true.
fell on me.
Yeah, thanks to you. Through that failure, the Mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. When that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the Mastermind had to accept your suggestion.
Indeed.
Prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they have to defeat us in perfect form.
In other words,
It would only do the Mastermind harm to have it shown that they violated their own regulations.
But all that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the Mastermind to accept your challenge.
however,
It was only thanks to you that we got the chance because you believed in me. Another path.
Danganronpa.